Hey, 5th grade, Miss Kachabata here. So this is the video for week 4, day 1. This is actually going to be aligned to module 5 in our Eureka curriculum. So we've actually already started this. We're going to be working on volume. So we've already completed a lot of honestly, I think we did all of the lessons on volume. So this should be kind of like a review to you. So if you found this to be super easy, that's why. So our objective for today is I can explore volume by building with and counting unit cubes. Okay, so this is just a review, all right? So finding the area, remember you find the area by finding using the formula area equals length times width, okay? And your answer is going to be your unit squared, right? Squared units, whatever your unit is. Okay, so looking here, we have a length of 4, and we have a width of 4 inches. We have a width of 2 inches. So if we do 4 inches times 2 inches, that's going to give us 8 square inches. All right, they already wrote inches squared there, so you just have to write the number, which is 8. All right, so here I see that we have a square, and it gave us the length of 5 centimeters. It didn't give us any of the other measurements, but I know in a square, all sides are equal. So that means if this side is 5 centimeters, then each side is going to be 5 centimeters. So that means I'm going to multiply 5 centimeters times 5 centimeters, and that's going to give me 25 square centimeters. All right. Moving down here, we have 3 inches times 5 inches, all right? So I'm going to write 5 inches times 3 inches, and that's going to give me 15 square inches. Okay, remember when you do square inches or square centimeters, square meters, the 2 is your exponent, so it's a little 2 in the corner. So the answer is 15 square inches. Okay, again, I see here we have a square with one side length of 6 inches. So I know if that side is 6 inches, then every side is 6 inches. So I'm going to multiply 6 inches times 6 inches. And that's going to give me 36 square inches. Okay. Sorry, if I scroll down, I have 2 centimeters times 7 centimeters. So when I multiply that together to find the area, I'm going to get 14 square centimeters. Okay. And then finally, I have 11 centimeters times 3 centimeters. And that's going to give me 33 square centimeters. Okay, I'll do a quick zoom out so you can see all of them together. And that is your daily fluency. All right. Okay, so going to our new learning. Okay, the next page is our new learning. So in the packets for week 4 and 5, you're going to find that under new learning, it's going to basically give you examples and kind of have little thought bubbles to explain the content. Okay, so I want you to think of it as if I took my lesson plans and everything that I say to you when I'm, going over the lesson in class, and if I wrote it down on paper for you, that's what's going to be in the new learning section. Okay, so it says, here is an example problem that shows how we can use unit cubes in pictures to show volume. Okay, Jackie and Ron both have 12 centimeter cubes. Jackie builds a tower 6 cubes high and 2 cubes wide, right? So we can see that right here. This is Jackie's tower, okay? Ron builds one 6 cubes long and 2 cubes wide. Jackie says her structure has the greater volume because it's taller. Ron says that the structures have the same volume. Who is correct? All right, and they said Ron is correct because both have 12 cubic units of volume. So Ron's is just like Jackie's, but his is lying down. Okay, and over here, I see that this gives us a definition of volume. So volume is the amount of space within a 3D shape, right? So it's the amount of space taken up by the shape. Okay, so if we go back to our example, I can see that Jackie has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cubes here. And hers are stacked on top of each other like a tower. And Ron has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, but his is on its side laying down. Okay, so technically they have the same volume. They're taking up the same amount of space. They're just, one is standing up and one is laying down. Okay, so now we are going to try it out, okay? And it's kind of hard for me to do it on both pages the way that you have it, because so it wants you to look at these units, but then it wants you to write in the box on the next page. That's okay. Just know that I'm going to be writing it here, and then you can write it on the next page in the table where you're supposed to write it. So it wants you to find the total volume and then explain how you counted the units. Okay, so for example, on A, I can see that there is just 1 cubic unit, so that means the volume is going to be 1 cubic unit. Okay. Then going to B, all right? Remember, if you have any kind of blocks or kind of like the linking cubes that we use, or the cubes that we've used in class, if you need something to really stack in front of you to help you, that's totally great. That's what I would be giving you in class if we were able to, and some of you used it when we did volume. So if you have something you can stack like this to help you visualize that volume, feel free to do that. That's a great idea. Okay, so on B, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, and if I look here, I can see that there aren't any more cubes behind it back here, right, when I do the width. So I can see that these are the only cubes here. There aren't any more behind it. So that means that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that means this is a total of 5 cubic units. Okay. All right, and then if you want to explain, so you could have done this multiple ways. If you're doing it my way, I just counted each cube. Some of you could have said, okay, I counted 3 cubes here, and then I counted 2 cubes up here. That's 5. Great. So just go ahead and write whichever explanation whichever way that you used to count the cubic units. Okay. Going down to C. All right, again, I see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's going to be 9 cubic units. All right. Then, and again, I just counted them by ones, but maybe you said, okay, 3, 6, 9. Maybe you counted by threes. So just make sure you write a quick explanation off to the side. All right, now this one's a little trickier because it does actually have a little bit of a width in the back. So I see that it has 1, 2, 3, right? Then I see it has 4, 5, 6, right? So this is connected. And then I can see it has 7, 8, and I see down here that this tells me that there's one more back there, 9, right? Because you see that little shadow. So that means it's 9 cubic units, all right? And notice there isn't one in the middle here because I don't see anything there, but I do know that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 stacked on that side. Then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 stacked on this side, right? And then 1 in the middle. That gives me 9, okay? And then here I can see that there is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? And then I know that there's going to be another layer of that underneath. So there's going to be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, because I'm counting the ones on the other side that I can't see, All right, so this is going to be 12 cubic units. Okay. And then finally, again, I'm going to say, okay, I see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I know that that's the top layer, but I have another 10 underneath it, right? Because there's one on each side. So that's going to give me 20 cubic units. All right. Okay, so again, what I was talking about, you could have written your explanations. You should have written them, your answers and your explanations on the next page, which I'm going to show you now. Okay, so here. So it used cubic centimeters here. I didn't know that's what it was using because I couldn't see the page at the same time. So again, what you put for figure B is fine. You can just put the volume and then the explanation. So I'm going to fill mine in real quick. Okay, so I added the answers and then the explanation on this page, just like you should have it, or you would have written it down. So I just went ahead and copied it from my other page and then paused the video, and here we are. Okay, so there it is all in one place. Then at your problem set underneath, you had to build 2 different structures with the following volumes using your unit cubes. All right, so if you had cubes again around the house that you could somehow use, you could build it and then you would draw it on the dot paper. So they did an example, and then I have my 2 that are drawn here. And the only reason I didn't do it on this video is because it actually took me a little bit to figure out how to draw. So if you aren't sure how to draw on this dot paper, it can be a little confusing, but then again, sometimes kids are better than adults at this kind of stuff. If you look, you want to find kind of like a diamond like this, and that'll be the top of one of your cubes, okay? And then you can add the little sides on each one like that, and then connect it at the bottom. And that's how I drew a cube. And then I kept going, so like over here on the blue one, I just drew a line. So I drew 1 cube first. So I did something like this, where I drew my cube, okay? And then I drew a line that just like connected a bunch. And so then I just kept drawing the lines, right? Because now here I have, oh, whoops, I drew the wrong one. Here I have a bunch of cubes, like this. Guys, I am not very good at this. Okay. So I have a bunch of cubes like that, except for this part that I did right here, which should not be anything. So you can do it kind of like that too. So again, drawing the cubes can be a little hard. But so this was my 7 cubic units right here. If you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then my 8 was right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So whichever way you were able to draw a figure, if you weren't able to do it, you couldn't figure out the dot paper, that's totally okay. Again, this was not the most important part. The most important part is being able to find a volume of a structure, okay? So let's see. Okay, going on to the last page. All right, it says, oops. All right, it says Joyce says that the figure below, made of 1 centimeter cubes, has a volume of 5 cubic centimeters. Explain her mistake. Okay, so they already told us this isn't true. So let's go ahead and count and see what the real answer is, all right, the correct answer. So let's count these cubes. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I know that this one is stacked on top of something, right? Because it's a lot taller. So there has to be another cube underneath it, which would be 6. All right, so that is why the volume is 6 cubic centimeters. Whoops, there you go. 6 cubic centimeters, okay? So I'll give you a few minutes, pause the video, write down what her mistake was. Think about how we just counted it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? I'm sure that's how she got the 5 cubic centimeters. But then, what was her mistake? How come she didn't count the 6th one? Okay? So I'm going to say, all right, so what I'm assuming that Joyce did is that she forgot to count the cube that you can't see, right? She forgot to count the cube on the first layer that the other cube is stacked on top of, okay? So she didn't count the cube that that you can't see by looking at the figure on the paper like this. Okay, so make sure you write that explanation. Joyce's mistake was, and then go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish with your explanation. All right, scrolling down, it says, imagine if Joyce adds to the second layer so the cubes completely cover the first layer in the figure above. What would be the volume of the new structure, and how would you know? Okay, so we're saying that she's going to add another cube on top of, so we have one cube up here on the second layer, right here, but she wants to add a complete second layer, right, to cover the first layer. So we know that she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes on the bottom, right? So if we added another layer, then it would be 6. We would have another one on top of 6, and another one here, 7, another one here, 8, another one on top of this cube, 9, and another one on top of this cube, which is 10. So the new volume of the structure would be 10 cubic centimeters. All right, and then once again, you need to explain how you know. So again, I know 10 cubic centimeters would be the new volume because, and then write your explanation. And again, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, it just has to be in complete sentences so we can understand your thinking. So, for example, I know 10 cubic centimeters would be the new volume because there are 5 cubes on the first layer. So if she adds another layer, there are going to be 5 more cubes, which is going to give us 10 cubic centimeters. Okay? So if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out. I'm going to start trying to post some of the anchor charts on our video, on my videos, and then on the Instagram that I have, so that you can use them if you need help for things like this, because I know it's been, a while since we've been in school and we haven't done volume, so it's okay if you forgot about that. And then please reach out if you have any questions, and I will try to upload more of these videos, like a couple each day, so that you can be working at your own pace. I know not everyone is going to be on the same week or day, depending on what's going on in your life, and that's totally okay. I just want you to be able to have these videos in case you need help. Right, so please reach out, especially now that you have, a lot of you have technology. If you're able to, go ahead and get on Zern, Prodigy, that kind of stuff. And if you want me to set a specific lesson on Zern for you, just call, text, email, Instagram me, and I will set that for you. All right, so I will be back tomorrow with another lesson, and I hope you guys are doing well. Bye.